Hello, everybody. This is Dave with the Compass Options Trading Room, and this is going to be the weekly Periscope video for the first week in January 2023. We've come into a new year, and we had a very good start to the year. I was going to try to get the annual 2022 recap done tonight, but I didn't have time to do that, so I'm going to do that most likely tomorrow night. That'll just go over the basically the statistics on the trades that we did in 2022 using the Compass system and the SPY trades, all SPY trades, and also how our statistics improved once we added the dominator in October. But that'll be tomorrow night. I didn't have time to get them all to get to that tonight, but I did do a recap of this first week's trades. So let's get to it. Again, we'll do the disclaimer. Whoops, I gotta get this slideshow started again. Let me get this going here. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so there is the Compass Options Live Trading Room, and our disclaimer: all signals and trading opportunities provided, both orally written, are electronically for educational and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. And neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, so we won't be giving financial advice. All right, so let's kind of go over, I got a couple of pages worth of trades here, starting back in the middle of November, and I've added a second page, but I've listed them all, and these are, when you look at the video, you can go back and look at these. We had an awful lot of wins. We had 3 losses here on this page, but an awful lot of wins, and some really nice wins here as well. We got from this CHPT time spread 47%. The Starbucks, we had a lottery that we did made 100% on. But you can see his CVNA for 46%. Typically, our profits usually run between 15 and 50%. Normally, a lot of them in the 20s and 30s. This time spread for Chewy was 37%, and Tesla here was 19%. But this is the first page of these, and we'll go on to this is some more that that I carried forward from that date. And again, you can look at all of these. We had this loser in ANET and a new loser in Tesla, but a lot of wins. I mean, a lot of wins, and very, very high percentage win rate on these trades that we've been taking. These high probability trades work most of the time. They really do. And this has been 2022 was a terrible, terrible trading year. The market was extremely difficult to trade. Swing trading was nearly impossible with all the gaps. Gap up and gap down from day to day made it very, very difficult. We had quite a few trades that we took overnight, and the interesting thing is that when I show you the stats on the annual review, you're going to see that we actually our percentage win on overnights was almost as good as it was on the intraday trades, within a percent or two. So I mean that was really good for this year, and that goes to the fact that our discipline is we take trades that the daily chart and the 5-minute chart are both lined up in the same direction. So we only take bullish trades if the daily and the 5-minute are bullish, and we only take bearish trades if the daily and 5-minute are bearish. But we'll go over that tomorrow night. I just wanted to kind of run through these here. We had some really, really good wins here through the end of December. And fairly small percentage in a lot of cases. The market was very, very choppy. You can, and as I say in the room a lot, you got to take what you can get. Get this THC. This was a nice one from an overnight. This Caterpillar, we got 9% on. We held that for like a week and a half, and it worked for us. We were down about 50% on that trade before it turned around and worked for us. And these are the trades so far this year that we've closed. We did close the Caterpillar this year, but it was put on in December. We closed THC in January, but it was also closed in December. But this week, the 3rd through the 6th, we had 9 wins, so 9 for 9. And if you count the other 2 from left over from the end of December, it was 11 for 11. So really nice trades. We've got a couple of trades on right now, and we'll see how they work out. We've got Boeing on right now as a trade, and we've also got remember, let me see what the other one we had on. Oh, Verizon. Yeah, we have Verizon on as a long. We have two longs on, and the market's up tonight. By the way, this is Sunday night. Market is futures are up about 50 points or so. So anyway, this was the profits or the trades that we took this week. And again, we were being very cautious. See, we took the NPH here for 9% on the 3rd, and we took it again for 22%. This was an overnight trade just this week. We bought it on the 5th, closed it on the 6th. Nice 22% gain. KHC was an overnight as well. We had a 22% gain in that. So the trades are going great. Again, sticking to the highest probability trades, using the compass system and the dominator system to guide us. As if patience pays off. I mean, it pays off with about a 90% win rate. And I know a lot of people in the room are doing extremely well off of these. A lot of them taking a lot more trades than I lay out here. They find trades themselves and are doing extremely well with that. So you know, that's really want to see. We want to find everybody looking for high probability trades and taking those trades on their own and having the confidence that they'll work based on the setup. So again, the highest probability trade setups. Let's talk about this just for a minute. And one of the things I really want to move up to the front on this is in this kind of a market, I do really think it's important to line up your daily chart and your 5-minute chart. So that would be one of the first things that I would put here is when you look at a stock, make sure that before you run it through the rest of the criteria, take a look and make sure the daily chart and the 5-minute chart align, and then we can go ahead and look at the rest of the criteria. And if you saw the funnel video that I put out, it's basically the funnel video is just a step-by-step procedure of how you take a stock prospect that you're looking to trade and you run it through the funnel, and all the funnel is just more and more criteria. It has to meet before it hits the next one, has to meet that one before it goes down to the next one. And if you come across a criteria that it doesn't match, then typically you don't take the trade. The only caveat to that would be we typically trade in the direction of the market, but if the market has no direction and it's very choppy, then we would defer to most likely the dominator or just the compass if the market is really choppy, and just find the stocks with the best relative weakness and relative strength. So anyway, after we've determined that the stocks on the 5-minute and daily are lined up, we take a look at the dominator signal and background color. We want to make sure they align. So if the dominator has got a green signal on the chart and it has a green background, then that would be bullish. And you know, red and red would be bearish, of course. We're looking for stocks that are breaking out of the dynamic compression zone. That's one of the things we use. You can also use bounces off the VWAP. It's any kind of support or resistance levels. In other words, buy at support, sell at resistance. We look for Fibonacci reversal candles when they're breaking out of bouncing off of a VWAP or breaking out of dynamic compression zone. The Fibonacci reversal candle is basically a confirmation of the reversal in itself because of the way Fibonacci is calculated. It's calculated on 2 candles. So once you get a Fibonacci reversal candle, which is basically, if for a bullish, you would be going from a stock from a candle with a tail to a flat bottom candle, and you have flat bottom candles one right after the other. And we'll look at a couple of those down here. We also want the breakout to be in the direction as the market trend, if there is one, which we just talked about. And we obviously want to be only trading in the direction of that stock's trend. So if the stock is bullish on the 5, bullish on the daily, then obviously we're going to be only trading it bullish. And we also want the modified Laguerre for the current time frame to match the trade, obviously. Green and blue for bullish, red and yellow for bearish. And the same thing applies to the multi-time frame Laguerre, or the multi-time frame momentum that we have on our compass system. And again, it's green and blue for bullish and yellow and red for bearish. We like to see the Bollinger Band expanding. And as I say every week, if you're breaking out of dynamic compression, the Bollinger Band bandwidth is almost always expanding, but it's something you can look for. And we also want to select stocks that have relative strength or relative weakness to the SPY. So if you've got a couple of stocks that look good for a long, typically, all things being equal, you want to take the one that's outperforming the SPY by the most, because it's likely to be much more forgiving if the market turns around or goes sideways or starts to go against you. So relative strength, relative weakness, very, very important. And the pop out of the box signals also help. That's another break of compression that the system identifies, the compass system identifies. And as I say all the time, have patience. Waiting for a compression break will reduce your risk substantially. Your entry is very critical. Don't be chasing these stocks up or down. Wait till you get a compression and then take a look to entry. And in a case, of course, you're going to miss some occasionally if they take off and never look back, but that's pretty rare. All right, so we've got a bunch of charts here today. These are some of the old ones, and I've got some new ones in here. This is Zillow. And for anybody who's new, this is the compass system on the Thinkorswim right here. And you notice that this is a trade we took in Zillow. And you notice this pop out of the box signal right here. The stock was compressing, get a pop out of the box signal. We bought it right here. Notice that all of our indicators on the compass system are red, telling us that this is a short. And we just basically take it here and we just write it down. And we just keep writing it down until we start to lose momentum. And I get out right here. I probably could have kept it a little bit longer, but you notice how small these candles are getting. That's telling you that the downward momentum is starting to fade a little bit. Oxy, a trade we took quite a while ago. We took the intraday trade, but I want you to see the daily. This is a daily chart on Oxy back then. This shaded area right here is called a dynamic compression zone. So this stock was breaking out of compression on the daily to the upside. Very, very bullish, green across the board. That's the kind of setup you want. If you can find that on the daily chart, if it opens green or it trades green that day, like it did right here, here's where we traded it intraday off of that big candle. You see this dynamic compression zone that it came out of right here. You don't see it because it's not there right now, but it was there when we took it. And again, everything is green or blue, and we got a pop out of the box signal. And you see how the price came right down to the 15 EMA, which is this little thin green line. The stock bounced off of 15 EMA, and that's where you would get in. And again, this constitutes buying at support. This 15 EMA is a support level on Oxy on this 5-minute chart. So this breakout on the 5-minute chart off of support is a proper place to take it. And because your downside is very, very limited at that point. If it breaks down below the 15 and heads down, then you just get out. But if it stays on along that 15 and rise up, you just take it up until you get your profits, which we did right here on this red candle. And some others here. This is a Tesla I keep in here because I want to show an example of Fibonacci candles. And what you see here is we got a compression here. And you can see this dynamic compression zone right here, the shaded area on this chart. And you see the pop out of the box signal here and here. Now, as the stock pulls out of this dynamic compression zone to the upside, everything's green. This is a bullish move. See, it's coming right off the 15. And these acceleration dots, these green dots in the middle of these candles are acceleration dots, which tells you the current time frame Laguerre, which is the momentum, is pegged at the highest level it can be. So that's as high as it can measure. It's at 100, which is telling you that there's a lot of institutional buying going on. Now, if you look at the candlesticks here on Tesla, you can see the wick and the tail here, and a wick and a tail here. See how we go to a flat bottom here and then a flat bottom here? These are Fibonacci candles. So both of these candles were a confirmation of a break to the upside. And if you look at the candles moving up, you notice how they stay flat bottoms all the way up. Every single candle has flat bottomed until you get here. So this is a beautiful trend in Tesla. To the upside with Fibonacci candles, lots of break out of the box signals, stock riding right along the trend dots, which are these green dots here, everything green below, beautiful long, beautiful long, and that made us a lot of money. I mean, this is a SPY, and I really wanted to show this. This is a little different Thinkorswim chart, but what I'm showing here is Fibonacci candles. Now again, you see the wick and the tail here on this short candle. And this was a Laguerre down here, the current time frame Laguerre, which went from green to yellow, which tells you it's now a short. This is a Bollinger bandwidth, and this I just kind of wanted to show you when the bandwidth's expanding. This is what the bandwidth looks like. It's just a histogram of the bandwidth, and you can see as it breaks down, you see how the bandwidth is getting wider. and that tells you you're breaking out of compression. Now here's the Heiken Arch reversal. Wick and a tail, flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top. This is just a beautiful trend. Heiken Arch can show you these trends, and everything is staying yellow or red down here on the Laguerre, our momentum. So this would be a short. And as soon as you start to see these wicks and tails appearing again, right here, the downward momentum has been lost. You get in here, you take your profits right here, and you notice the bandwidth is now getting narrower again as it goes into another compression cycle, and it actually goes to turning blue over here. But you would be out of it right in here. All right, a couple more. This is another one on the SPY that shows a dynamic compression zone that the SPY is breaking out of. Here's your pop out of the box signal right here. And again, Heiken Arch candles, wick and a tail, flat bottom, flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top. This is a very bullish move right here. This is where you would get in. You see where this turns yellow right here. And that goes from blue to yellow. That is your entry to get up, get in, and you just follow it down. And again, you see how big these candles are? It's breaking below the VWAP, which is this purple line. And we only want to be trading stocks short that are below the VWAP. We do not want to be trading stocks short when they're above the VWAP. So it breaks below the VWAP, moves down, the candles start to get much smaller. We're losing momentum. We take our profits. As soon as you see that, you just go ahead and take your profits. If it reverses and heads back down again, you can always get in again later. But you notice as the gear right here went blue, as you start to lose the momentum. But on these things, when you're getting the big candles and then the candles get smaller and smaller and smaller in a tighter range, time to take profits. Meta was another one we used, and I'm just showing examples of this was a daily chart. This is a breakout of a dynamic compression zone right here. And again, you see it went from blue to yellow. We had yellow here on the multi-time frame Laguerre already. Breaks down on the daily. Beautiful short setup even for a swing, which we actually did take this one. So we took this, but this was a daily chart aligning with the 5-minute chart that was also bearish. Crowd was another good one that we took here. Again, you can see these are Heiken Arch candles. See the breakout of the dynamic compression zone right here. You see the current time frame Laguerre, which is momentum. It went from green to yellow right here on this candle. As it breaks through the dynamic compression, as it breaks below the VWAP, well, you're not counting the VWAP. This is a daily, I'm sorry. The VWAP only applies on the 5-minute chart. But it broke out of dynamic compression to the downside on a Heiken Arch reversal candle. Wick and a tail, flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top. Beautiful daily trade. If you held this for a few days, you made a lot of money on this trade. And again, as you notice here, we went blue on the multi-time frame. So you'd be getting out right there. This is where you would write it down to. QSR was one I want to show, both the dominator chart and the compass chart. This was, again, another trade we took. This is the dominator. I mean, this is the compass on the daily. You see this move to the upside. You see how it went blue here, went from yellow to blue, and everything else is green. Bullish move right there in QSR. We get in right in here, and let's look on the QSR on the 5-minute. This is the 5-minute. Again, you can see the QSR. This is a candlestick we're looking at on the daily. This is where we traded it, and you notice that it's coming across and it's compressing. It's compressing. We've got colorful changes here on the multi-time frame Laguerre, but it went green right here on the current time frame. The multi-time frame was already green. Current time frame went green. You have a stock bouncing off of the right here, bouncing off of the 15 EMA. That's what that thinly white yellow line is. Stock is above the VWAP. You see, you get in right here on this break to the upside, and you ride it up. And when it starts to lose the momentum to the upside, your current time frame Laguerre goes back to yellow. You take your money, and again, you're riding above the VWAP, and it's getting pretty extended above the 15 EMA as well. That shows you that the stock is likely to start to pull back again a little bit. Now, what I want to show you is this on the same trade. This is the QSR on the dominator on the 5-minute, and you can see here where the background is green. So the green background on the dominator system tells us this is very bullish. Dark green is very bullish. This is actually looks kind of blue, but it's actually a light green. And you can see the stock moving here and just coming down near the 15 and just moving up. When we're getting a lot of mixed signals in the dominator. is telling us that the market internals are just mixed, but we've got a very bullish setup on the QSR. And then right here, when we start to get the buy signal, that tells you that now we've got much more buying than selling in the market internals. So you could this would be if you wanted to take the safest trade, this is where you would get in. If you wanted to front run a little bit, as long as you're not getting too much red down here, as there's no sell signals, then you could have got in right here and wrote it up. The safe entry would be right here. Again, you can write it up. You still get buy signals. You lose a buy signal here and here, so you could have taken profits right here if you wanted. And then it started to back up again as the signals came back again, and then it kind of just chopped around near the top. But a nice trade on QSR. This was a SPY trade off the dominator. This dominator is always 5 minutes when we're looking at that. But again, you see when the sell signals come in, this is a SPY with a light pink background and then a dark pink background. That's a bearish setup. So here is a fine little entry right here. As the stock breaks below this 15 right here, it breaks down below it on a sell signal. Most of the dominator is red, so that's why you're getting a sell signal. You buy it, get in here, short it, write it down, and then as soon as the sell signals go away, as it did right here, you just start, as the candles start to get small, you take profits. And a lot of SPY trades are like that. You don't get a lot of days right now in this market where the SPY will just trend the whole day long. You get a lot of choppiness, and it's important to take profits quickly on these kind of trades. All right, a little bit more. This is Netflix off the dominator. This was a beautiful trade on Netflix. You can see how right here at this time went from 11:30 to 11:45. See how the dominator went from mixed red and green to all green. You see the buy signal. This is where you would get in on Netflix right here. You might not catch this candle, and if it was me, I probably wouldn't chase that candle. I'd wait for a compression like we got right here. This is where I most likely would have got in right here off of this candle. Looking at the compass system, it probably is coming right off of a VWAP or the one of the other support levels, and then it kind of slides sideways. But you get buy signals all the way across. There's no reason to get out of the trade, and it rides right up, and you can see it kept going all day long with buy signals all the way. And you would take profits along the way. If I was in here when I get in, I would most likely have taken profits. When I got up here, I'd have a decent profit. I probably wouldn't be waiting for another move. I'd take the profits right there, although there was no particular reason to get out. All right, so this is a SPY, the daily chart for the SPY for the last couple of months, and I just want to highlight what we're seeing here. Again, the SPY is in a bear market. It's been a downtrend all year long. We're making lower highs and lower lows. This was the low for the year right here, and now we've moved up pretty strongly, up and then chopped down a little bit, then moved up. We put in a move above the 200-day moving average, above the 100, and above the 50. This red line is a 50, blue line's 100, purple line's a 200. The market moved up and got above the 200, and everybody got excited, and then it pulled right back down to the 100 again, and moved sideways, and it jumped back up above 200 again, and then has fallen, and fell pretty hard down below all the moving averages again, and then just this last 2 weeks, as we talked about in the room, this has been just nothing but a giant compression. Market has gone nowhere in 2 weeks, but we did move up above the 100-day moving average and right up to the 50-day moving average on Friday. So it'll be interesting to see if this continues up, but the market has shown no indication yet that the bear market's over. We would have to have a low. This was a low of the last low. We would have to have this low hold, not break down below it, and then put in a higher high somewhere up above this 200-day moving average up here. Then if we get a higher low and then a higher high, likely that would be the beginning of the end of the bear market, and we can start to look to bullishness. But so far, every time we've done this so far this year, we've pulled back down and created a new low. So until we actually can see that, we're still in a bear market. Okay, this is I want to cover some of the trades we took this week. This was the compass system on ENPH on the daily. We pre-traded this twice, as you remember, and we did the ENPH. I think let me look. We did ENPH. Yeah, we did it on the third, which is right over here, and then we did it again on the 5th. and right here. So we traded this twice, and one of them was an overnight. This was an overnight right here, 5th to the 6th, beautiful move. We actually, this was a big trade. I made $4 a contract on this, but some of the folks in the room made $7 a contract in this. I had an order in there to sell it at $4 profit. Some of them hung with it for a while and got up to $7 in profit. So big move in ENPH. Tesla was another nice trade we took. We took on the 3rd as well. And this was the 5-minute chart. And this was our Tesla trade here. See, we're below the VWAP, you see? Stock's moving sideways. Here's the 15, comes up to the 15, breaks below the 15. This is a trade off of some resistance right here. This 15 is resistance. Here's the break of resistance. This is where you would get into the trade. And we wrote it right down. Didn't give us any reason to get out. And we wrote it down and wrote it down. And we made $2 a contract on this thing. Again, it's starting to turn blue here. Notice it's red all the way across. But as soon as it starts to turn blue, you're taking profits, and you get a nice profit in that. We made $2 a contract on Tesla. KHC, you probably still remember KHC. Again, KHC, we get in on the 4th, which was right here on this candle right here. And we like this break of dynamic compression. The stock was breaking out, and it was right here on this candle, sorry, on the 4th. And we wrote it up, and we got closed out on Friday, I think. And nice move up on KHC. And it was very bullish all the way. I mean, you notice how everything was bullish here when we took it. So we were leaning on the daily chart, and we kept it overnight, and we get closed out on it for a nice little profit. STZ, we had a huge profit in STZ, relatively huge. STZ, and you can see where we took this. You notice this big breakdown. You see how this went red here on this candle? Everything's red, coming off of this long compression right here in STZ. It was earnings. We followed it down, and I think we made 55% on this particular trade. And you see everything was red on that day. It was an intraday trade. UNH, another nice overnight trade that we took. UNH was one we took. Where did we take UNH? On the 4th. Took UNH on the 4th, sold it on the 5th. We made, what did we get on that one? $3. $3 a contract on UNH. This was a big trade right here. We get in here, held it overnight, took the profits right down here. So again, you can see how the compass system is showing us how strong these setups are. And you just have to be patient and just look for these setups. Follow that high probability trade setup, and you'll do very, very well. Again, so just to kind of reiterate, and again, look at some of the videos I did on the highest probability trade setups using the compass system and the dominator system together, and then also the funnel video that I put out on basically how to find the highest probability trade setups, run them through the funnel, and the ones that drop out the bottom are the high probability trades, the ones that basically match most of the criteria. So if we use the compass dominator combo, if the dominator is got a green background and buy signals, obviously it's bullish. Red background and sell signals, it's bearish. When the compass system and the dominator system it's line up, in other words, if you had a dominator background green and a dominator buy signal and a compass all green, then that gives you a higher probability of the trade working. And the one thing I would add to that would also be increased even more if the market was bullish that day. So you were trading in the direction of the market with everything being bullish, or if it was bearish, if the market was heading down, and the market would be bearish, and if you'd be looking to the bearish compass system and bearish dominator system, and you match all three of those, and you're in really good shape. And you typically can take larger size. It's possible to stay in the trade longer if the market's trending. If the market is choppy like it's been so much this year, you really have to be fairly passive in your profit target. You notice a lot of the profits I take taken this year are 15, 20, 30, 40, 50%. I don't have any 100 and 200% winners. It's very difficult to get those in intraday trades, and it's very difficult to hold swing trades right now overnight because of the market. So in these kind of markets, you take what you can get. When we get a trending market and we can stay in these trades and everything lines up and the market's trending, it'll be a lot easier to trade. You're also going to make a lot more money. And again, the best entries for these trades is bouncing off the 15 EMA of the EMA, bounce off the VWAP, bounce off the white pivot point line that we see on the charts, and a breakout of dynamic compression. Basically, buy at support, sell at resistance. If you if you want to write something down and put a note on your screen, it's buy at support, sell at resistance. Buy at support, sell at resistance. And the other thing you might want to put down is our objective is not to make trades. Our objective is to make money. We don't make trades just to make trades. We only make trades when they line up with our highest probability trade setups. So those are kind of important, and they're rules that I live by. Put credit spreads, I'll skip past this. Again, I got a whole video on doing put credit spreads. This market has not been conducive to put credit spreads. We will have time spreads coming up starting later this week and next week, because we're going into earnings season, so we'll be swamped with potential time spreads coming up. And this was another video I did on, a post I did on Reddit on using debit spreads as a profitable day trade. So we had a couple of big ones with that. This week, STZ was one of those. And I have one on Fibonacci candles, a post on Reddit. And this is the link to the Compass video library. Now, if you're not in the Discord room, you can sign up and get into the Discord room. If you're a member, it comes with the membership. Rory's going to be putting out a video on how to get into that if you haven't been able to get into it. And we've got a couple of really good traders in there. All of the trades we call out in the room, and all of the trades that we take in the room are posted in there by Dr. No and Savvy Trader, the two fellows that are basically managing that room. And then there's trades go in one section, and then there is an educational section. There's a general trading section where people, members can get in there and discuss ideas, discuss trades that they might want to take. They can ask questions on trades that they like, and some of the Savvy Trader or Dr. No will go over those with you. And so it's really a really good resource. All of my videos, there's a link to all my videos in there, and there's a lot of good information. The high probability trade setups are also mentioned in there as far as the detail of the criteria. So that's the weekly Periscope. I will the next couple of days get out the 2022 annual recap on it. I will tell you that again, I broke these things down, and our win rate was just about what I expected it was going to be. It was running about 90%, between 90 and 91% for the year, and it's very difficult to get it above that. We actually had we did improve our percentage after the dominator system come out. We changed it, went from about 88 or 89% to about 92%. So we had a higher win that, and that's on quite a large number of trades. For in the room we had, like, for the October, November, December, a little over 150 trades. So it's a meaningful sample, big enough that means that particular win rate is pretty solid. So anyway, I appreciate everybody listening to this. I look forward to seeing everybody in the room on Monday. I do have a couple of a few bullish and bearish setups that's on the video that you can look at for Monday. I got about six of each, and particularly like Rost and Caterpillar for longs. AVGO looks nice too. I really like RPRX for a short, and ZI is a nice little short too. You can look at them on the charts. And again, what you want to do when you're looking to take a long or a short based on any of these or any of the trades that you take, when you're taking a long entry, make sure that the stock is breaking over Friday's high with a high probability trade setup. Don't be taking long trades that have not exceeded Friday's high, because the Friday's high becomes basically a resistance level. So you want it to get through there. When you're going for shorts, make sure the stock is trading below Friday's low, because you're joining the trend to the downside. It's broken out below Friday's low, and will likely to continue to the downside. It's much higher probability than getting into a long that hasn't reached the previous weekday's high. Try not to do that. And again, take trades that are trading with the market trend. Very important. So anyway, that's the Periscope video for this week. And I appreciate everybody's attendance in the room. Appreciate all the questions and comments that I'm getting. And thank you for all the compliments on the room. Again, the whole point of this room is to put several points to help educate traders to become better traders. So that means making money consistently and becoming better traders using the Compass system and the Dominator system. As I say all the time, we're trading against other retail traders. We're not trading against the big boys. We're not trading against the institutions. And we've got way better tools than any of the other retail traders do. So have confidence in this system, because this system is going to give you 9 out of 10 wins most of the time. Obviously, there's going to be some losses along the way, but just remember that you're crushing the other retail traders with these particular systems and the high probability trade setups we take. We're basically going to war with these people every day, and we have the tanks and the bazookas, and they're coming at us with pea shooters, and it's just it's no contest. They do not have the information that we have. So again, have a great weekend, and we'll see everybody for the second week in January, and let's see if we can keep the streak running. Have a great weekend, everybody.